Ex-fiancé wants to catch up after he left me at the altar. How do I proceed? Well, exactly what the title states. Also, I'm writing this on mobile, sorry for any formatting issues. My 28F ex-fiancé, Derek, 32M, disappeared the morning of our wedding 2 years ago, evading all attempts to reach him from myself and his family. It was devastating, absolutely soul-crushing. The event turned into a party to distract from the pain of the unknown. Afterwards, I returned to our apartment and slept on the bathroom floor in my wedding dress. It was quite the ugly sight, to be honest. His mother ended up coming to the apartment when she informed me tearfully that Derek had run off with an ex of his. They had apparently reconnected a week prior to wedding, and he just couldn't go through with it, opting instead to rekindle his relationship with his ex. His family was horrified. I didn't hear from him until 3 months after he left. He called me, apologized, and then revealed that his ex had been hiding his child from him that he just found out about. He wanted to be with them. That's pretty much all that was said. I didn't say much. Actually, I think I only said hello. The whole situation left me numb. I just didn't care anymore. Thankfully, though, my friends were and continue to be there for me through all of this muck. They encouraged me to seek therapy and work on healing, which, I'll be honest, was terribly difficult. But after a year, I felt myself again, which brings me to today. After this whole debacle and subsequent self-improvement rebuilding, I moved to the UK, originally from Australia, for a change in scenery. Last night, I got a message request on Instagram. It was Derek. Hey, I've heard you moved to Wales. That's so cool. I'm traveling to Cardiff towards the end of July. I'm deeply sorry about everything, and I want to discuss what happened leading up to the wedding. I hope I am not overwhelming you. Let me know if you'd like to talk over lunch. Firstly, no idea who told him about my move. Secondly, I don't know if I crave closure from him, but I also don't want to decide to decline to only layer on regret my decision. So I turn to you, strangers of the internet. What should I think about before reaching a decision? Would be wise to decline, or should I humor him and listen to his reasons? Okay, minor update. Wow, this garnered far more attention than I anticipated. So bear with as I try to navigate all of your advice. Although the general consensus is quite clear. I have learned that an old mutual friend of ours revealed where I moved, and evidently he's been stressing that he needs to tell me something. For the time being, I have decided to simply ignore his message and work through any emerging feelings with my therapist. Thanks. Some comments said, the ball is entirely in your court. Do you feel you need anything from him? Do you need an explanation or closure? You don't really owe him anything, so it's entirely about what you want from this. It sounds pathetic, but I guess I want to the why a bit more in depth. Yet again, learning it won't change anything from the past. Thus brings me to my conflicted state. Update. Hello everyone. I did update in my original post, but I've decided to repost it here. So as I mentioned previously, I decided to not respond to his message. A day after, however, I received another message from him, which I won't write out in its entirety. To sum it up for you all though, he apologized for how disingenuous his initial message was and explained why he had reached out to me. Essentially, he wanted to discuss that final week before our wedding and the events that led up to him dipping out. Now I will refrain from entirely delving into my ex's and I's past, but my ex-fiancé was diagnosed with PTSD with avoidant attributions from past experiences. His diagnosis did provide quite a bit of clarity looking back our relationship and his past behavior, so I truly feel for him in his journey of self-healing. However, despite his struggles, I still told him that couldn't forgive him for his callous act of leaving me in a perpetual state of limbo for 3 months, unsure of why he had abandoned me. He said he understood. Now, and some of you will be quite mad with me, but I ultimately agreed to meet him for lunch, and I do not regret it. He's not with his ex. Actually, she passed away 6 months after he left me the altar, which is part of the reason why she reached out to him in the first place. Since then, he has been working on himself through therapy and navigating single fatherhood. Yes, the child is his. The lunch wasn't too long, but it was all around cathartic on both sides. At the end of the lunch, he handed over an envelope which contained all money we spent preparing for the wedding. Honestly, I was dumbfounded. It wasn't a gesture I was expecting on his behalf, and I think he was taken aback when I returned the ring he gave me. It's funny, I held on to the ring just in case I needed to sell it if my finances continued to be unstable, but I never had to. Ironic that in the end I did receive money while seemingly trading that ring. He looks better, and not to toot my horn, but I feel I do as well. Now that chapter has concluded and I no longer feel rage or remorse, I feel free. I feared that I might have still harbored feelings for him, but I have since found that I loved him for the man he was in that moment when we were together, and though we're now apart, I'm okay with looking back and acknowledging the love I had for him. I've closed that chapter now with him, with the woman I was with him. Thank you all so much. Any advice on what I should spend the money on? Haha. Comments after the update. I'm not a believer in closure, but that is some serious closure. Right? Part of my brain went, damn. He apologized, explained what happened, a shitty situation for all involved, quite frankly, gave her money to offset the money spent on the wedding. Sounds like a great guy, they should get Mar. Oh wait, I feel for both Op and the ex. You're right though about closure. Rarely in life does everything get so packaged up so nicely with a bow. This update was healthy. I'm honestly happy for Op. I remember reading the original post AMD thinking the audacity of this guy to reach out like this after what he did. I thought he's reaching out only to rub it in her face more, but I'm glad it kind of ended well for her. Nothing justifies what he did though, but he does seem like a good soul deep down. Hey, now this is Reddit, don't you bring that adults maturing and moving on from a bad experience stuff here. Yeah, get this closure crap off of my vicarious living through the drama of others subreddit. Yeah, I imagine the story would be much different if he had done the mature thing in the first place and sat Op down to tell her what happened. I'm sure she'd have much preferred canceling of postponing the wedding instead of being left at the altar in front of all her friends and family. Then to not even contact her for 3 months after. Yeesh. I get the guy has mental issues, so do I, and there have been tough situations that I would have loved to run away from, but I could not imagine being this cruel to a loved one. But I'm glad it all worked out for the best. He was clearly not marriage material, and OP is better off without him. He really shot himself in the foot here. They could have approached this as partners. It doesn't sound like his ex reached out hoping to get back together, just wanting to inform him about the kid and her situation, and he went nuclear. Imagine if he had gone to Op and they had worked through it together.